Okay, so now we're gonna get into another move that you can use as an older grappler to take down the other older grapplers. I beat his ass with it a couple times, right? Yeah. Tell him what happened last time at bingo too.
He won at bingo and he swept me right after.
That's right. That's what I thought. Okay, so we're gonna show you how I did it. All right, so we're gonna talk about the lower leg shift sweep. All right, so the lower leg shift sweep, here's your cigarette, you want that? And I'll put your DP over here. So we get into this lower leg shift sweep. What we want is to have a knee shield. And as soon as we have this knee shield, we're looking for the underhook. So a good way to do this, to get an underhook, is to pull on his arm. He just thinks that maybe a knee lever's coming. If he doesn't do anything, I can start to knee lever him over. He comes back up. So he knows that might be coming. So as soon as I grab this, he pulls it away from me wildly, and I put my arm through. As soon as I put my arm through, I'm looking to take this outside leg and wrap it around his hook. If you can see this, I'm going on the outside of his leg, putting it inside. And now I'm pulling and torquing his leg out to my left. I'm pulling it outside the line of his knee. Now I can take my original leg that was wrapping around his right leg, where I have the half guard locked, and I take it out. Now I'm gonna do a small bump with my left leg to put his knee over my knee right into this pocket of my hip, my fake one. Now I'm gonna go like this. He bumps, put that knee in. So I'm gonna go like this. This knee comes out right there. Now that we have the knee there, we need to immediately grab this leg. If I don't grab the far leg, he does a back step and he goes into cross ashi on me. And I don't need another knee surgery. So I go here, I grab onto the leg. Now he tries to back step on me. Not gonna happen. So let's move over for him, Adam. So now that I'm in this position, it's very important that I keep my head on this side of his body. I don't want my head coming over here where he grabs the guillotine and starts wrapping me up. And I'm gonna have a hell of a time with the CPAP later. So I'm here, I've got my head up into his chest, I'm holding on to his leg. I have my knee going down. If I open it up, it's easy for Adam to pick his knee up. We can come out, or he can pick his knee up and try to go into mount, or go over my body. So while I have this back healing, I'm bringing his ankle to the outside of his knee. And now what I'm gonna do is straighten my body into his knee, okay? So while I'm straightening my body into his knee, it's already putting pressure on him. And now that that's happening, I'm just gonna walk in a circle very slowly. That's all it takes. We're very connected now. We don't need any kind of dynamic movement to do this move. We just have connections and we're just gonna start walking. So as soon as I start walking, I'm picking up his knee with my hip. I'm picking up his knee with my hip. I still have pressure on this foot and eventually he falls over. As he falls, I'm following him up and I keep this leg turking. So I go like this, the leg is still turked, and then I put my knee over his knee. And now let's go over and turn this way for him. As I get to this position, how we want to stop him when we get to this point, we don't want him to start scrambling. So I already have my hand through with this underhook, right? He had a whizzer on. So what I'm gonna do is take my hands together. I'm gonna put my elbow inside of his hip. Now, my head is placed right on his pec. So there's two ways that Adam can move here. He's got limited mobility, but he still has two ways he can move. So what he can do is try to go to turn into me. He can try to turn into me, and I have this to stop him. He can't move his hip towards me with my elbow inside. And he could also try to turtle, but I have my head in his chest to stop him there. And now we can take our pick of what we want to do. We could just try to step over and collect his leg and go into a mount. We could also try to bring our leg to the inside, and then we figure four our legs, bring our hips down to the line of his kneecap. I'm gonna splay my legs and just put my hips into his knee to get a dog bar. So now we've gotten into this position. We have his leg torqued. Another option we can do is I could torque his leg even further and put my hip to his hip and just keep walking until I can step over. Now I can go into mount and we're gonna dominate him again. So now let's show this again. We've got our half guard here. I'm gonna do something to get a diversion so I can start to get my underhook. I don't wanna take my space away to where if I just shoot through, he just grabs an underhook and now I'm getting flattened out, right? So we need something we can keep our knee and elbow connected and just shoot through. After we've done some kind of diversion, we can hold on to a 2-on-1, make him pull back, whatever we need. Now I'm holding on to this. I'm gonna take my outside leg and wrap his ankle. So I'm gonna pull it outside the line of his knee, and I immediately grab this so he doesn't backstep and do an inverted heel hook on me. Now I bump him forward. I put his kneecap right in the pocket of my hip. You guys can see that? Right there in the pocket of my hip. This is what's gonna cause his knee to turn and have his weight all get loaded up onto my body. Not an athletic movement at all. This is all about precision and connection. So I'm holding him here. My head is on this part of his chest. I'm not across body where he's gonna guillotine me. So he guillotines me, this is gonna be a problem. So once we get here, I'm pulling him into me tight, so everything is tight to my body, and I just start walking in a small circle. Walking, like Flintstones, walking. I turn, and now I'm coming up top, and I'm gonna put my elbow to the inside and lace a side body lock. So I get here, lacing a side body lock. He still has a whizzer. And now I'm putting my head into his chest, and I can start climbing, collecting his legs, and going into a high mount, where we can hit our favorite move, the Americana. So, again, this is a really good move for people with limited mobility because it's all about connection and isometric strength and precision of movement. We just walk in a small circle, we load up his body weight onto us, and I'm gonna show you guys now what happens if he tries to post his hand out, right? You might be thinking, what if he's post his hand out? What if he's trying to get smart on us? So, come this way, I go through, I get this position, I bump his knee into the pocket of my hip, and I start walking him out. He puts his hand out. So now I can't bring him over. A lot of times you can still bring him over if you walk in a tight enough circle, but let's say we wanna try to take his back. He took his hand out to stop. I'm gonna take this hand, I'm gonna put it in his rib cage, and I'm just gonna put this ear on his back. So I go like this. That's it. That's all it took. I put my ear on his back, he tries to reach back. He can get an over back grip. It's not enough to stop me from climbing and taking his entire back now, okay? So we'll do this from the other side. Right here. Let's go into the position. Yep. So I start going, he puts his hand out to stop, and now I just put my hand in his rib cage. If I just try to come up and take his back, this is slow. And he throws in a whizzer, and now I'm wrestling. My shoulders don't want that. So we get into this position, I just post on his rib cage, and I put my ear on his back. If I put my other ear on his back, it's gonna make it so that he can still throw in a whizzer. If I try to go like this, he throws in a whizzer, and now I'm wrestling, he can throw me back down. But when I put this ear on his back, the best he's gonna get is an over back grip, and that's not enough. So I post on his rib cage, I put my ear on his back, he tries to grab me, he can't. Now I'm gonna come back up, and we can start to take his back here. We can do whatever else we want. We can do some kind of catch wrestling techniques that a lot of the old guys are a fan of. I hope you guys like this one. It's a move I've used a lot, I love it. And let me know how you like it. So we'll see you guys on the mats.